What is happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero Novice? My name is Corbs, and to my right we have Formal Chicken.
Hey,
Below me we have the former manager of Hyperflex, Feifels, or assistant
Hello.
manager, you know what I mean. And we have a coach for Edinburgh Monarchs, Juicebox.
Hello, and also I'm assistant manager.
Oh, assistant manager as well, my bad. So, let's get into the weekly recap section. So the first game that I want to discuss is Wisdom versus Hyperflex. Pretty much on last week we predicted a clean sweep for Wisdom, and we actually got it. So, Feifel, since you were involved in this game before your departure, what were your thoughts about it?
Well, personally, I kind of expected that we were gonna lose because, um, a lot of things were just going wrong internally, and then not everyone could come, and then a bunch of the people who were playing knew that they weren't even gonna be on the team, like, afterwards, so they didn't have too much to play for. So I was expecting that, but I told them to try. They did, until the last map, which I just told them to have fun.
Exactly.
And
I was gonna say Chef's Moira, kind of carrying the DPS line. Not gonna lie, but
Uh,
yeah, props to him. Anyways, sorry for interrupting you. What's up with the end?
oh, I forgot now.
Yeah, that was my bet. But yeah, so pretty much after this game, Hyperflex pretty much went boom, if I'm not mistaken. Like you guys, there are only three original members left. It is, well, I can't name all of them off the top of my head, but Yoshi left. Banana got traded for Volpixie, and like a bunch of other things. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Or I was gonna say let me pull up Discord on mobile, but my phone's. But yeah.
The three original members left are Chef, Val, and Lori.
Yeah. So Chef, Val, and Lori are still in the team. Anyways, Juice and or Formal Chicken. Do you guys have anything to say about this game?
I mean, that's pretty much what I expect. I know is in a lot of trouble, but yeah, like last map was really fun. I mean, I watched last map in VODs, and I mean the Bastion pick was really funny. I mean, they almost 3 minutes, and he almost won it. To be fair, like only Titanic and Spongy just clutched at the end. But it was a really fun showing from Hyperflex. They knew they weren't gonna win. I mean, it's Wisdom. What else?
Yeah, for sure. Like Wisdom is arguably the top team in Novice right now. Like no questions about it. Well, EM faces them next week, but we'll get into that later. Formal, did you watch the game by any chance, and what were your thoughts if you did?
yeah. So I caught the last map on Anubis, and to echo what Juice was saying, yeah, that was pretty interesting seeing the Bastion come out. But yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's what everybody kind of expected was a 3-0 there.
Yeah, so that's one prediction I got right. Yay! Anyways, moving on to the next game on our list, we have Edinburgh versus Seattle Battle Cattle. Or wait, excuse me, I forgot to discuss player of the matches. So the player of the match was in fact Titanic. Kudos to him. He pops off as usual, with the honorable mentions being Geek Egg and Spongy Cheese. So congrats to them. They deserved it. Anyways, let's move on to the next match, being Edinburgh versus Seattle Battle Cattle, where it was a 3-0 sweep in Edinburgh's favor. Now, Seattle is playing with a new roster. Formal Chicken, you are a part of Seattle. How are you guys integrating those pieces into your current roster?
It's coming along pretty good. Both Florida and Void, who they both played in the match this past Saturday. Big additions to the team. I think it's going to take a little bit with everybody kind of gelling and getting used to each other's play style. I mean, I played main tank to fill in for me for this match, and not my traditional role on the team that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. So, I think all in all, we made some good plays in the game itself. Edinburgh obviously, outplayed us. We got crushed by the Sombra. Uh, Landix made some fantastic plays. Basically carried a lot of team fights for us. We're getting some clutch picks there. But all in all, I think moving forward, you'll see a more cohesive unit out of SBC.
Yeah, for sure. Like you guys actually, even though yes, despite the 3-0 scoreline, y'all looked pretty strong considering that you were playing the new pieces for the first time. So kudos to you. And we have the assistant manager of Edinburgh here. So after Seattle announced their new pickups, like what were your thoughts about going into the game? So
Okay, so last time we were going up against, and we kind of underestimated them because uh, they started off weak, and we started off with basically saying, okay, they're not gonna pose any question, but three was playing like a monster. Eagle was just
oh
clutching up big.
oh I was
But
gonna oh we're
wait, wait,
talking
wait,
we're
wait, wait, wait.
oh I was gonna say we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
wait,
you.
wait. Let me finish.
Excuse me, sorry.
So, we clutched up in the end, and going into week 3, we said, okay, so I don't know how are they gonna gel, how are they gonna work, like the new pieces for SBC. Let's just play like as we should, and we'll go from there. And I think we prepared a lot for SBC because we were coming into that week completely blind, because we weren't knowing if Reem was starting on main tank, if anybody else was starting on main tank. It was pretty much the only thing that we knew for sure, were the DPS lineup. That's it.
Yeah, so
So
good.
yeah, so going into the match, we played like we should have. We just kind of rolled. I mean, first fight in the night market, we were kind of worried because we didn't under the Farah, but then we just kept the pace. We got them for. I mean,
Yeah, so I watched this game as well. I was an outside viewer, and pretty much from what I saw, like yeah, sure, SBC is a branded team, but they honestly it looks like they've been playing together for a couple of weeks. The problem was AM's just been playing for pretty much since the season started together. So Feifel,
yeah.
yeah. So Feifel's, did you watch the game at all? And if so, what were your thoughts and opinions?
No, I did not watch the game.
All right, that's a fair point. Anyways, the player of the match from Edinburgh is Vespi King, and the honorable mention is Young Siu. And so yeah, these players looked incredibly strong. Like Vespi, arguably one of the top off tanks in the league, and Young Siu it has been killing it on the Sombra recently. So props to them. And anyways, the final match, which took place on Monday, is Geometric versus One Trick Wonders. And every single time this series has gone, it's either been a 3-2 in favor of Geo or One Trick Wonders. Unfortunately, for me, this week was 3-2 in favor of Geo. So,
Bane.
so yeah, going into this game, and I have 8 pings. Going into this game, Geo, like our game plan was pretty much let SD overextend and then punish him. That pretty much showed in the not the first map but the next 2 maps, especially where we were able to catch him out of position. Like we got a hack on him and then Blue Jay was able to chase him down and just kill him. Unfortunately, they were like, hey SD, stop feeding, play with your team. So he did that, and then they brought in Xville, who was their Sombra specialist. So you knew that they were gonna run Reaper Sombra meta, so that's always fun to bear witness to, and they pretty much just played smarter towards the end. That's how they won this game. So let's start with formal. Did you watch the game at all? And if so, what were your thoughts and opinions?
So I unfortunately did not. I kind of caught like bits and pieces of it. I was busy doing some other stuff while the game was on, so unfortunately I didn't really get to watch much of it.
Feifels?
Yes, I prepared immensely for coming on here and didn't watch either of the other games.
Oh my goodness. Okay. But Juicebox, anything?
Yeah, I watched the game. I can say that OTW looks really good, really improved. Like with me, I think OTW is looking scary, and as rightfully rightfully got placed in the top 4, top 3 even. But the problem with OTW is that they can be so good in every other meta except for Reaper Sombra, because 3 is not comfortable on Sombra, and every time I watch him, because I'm kind of a Sombra main myself, is the only DPS I can play, and see him just trying to play Sombra is just painful, because I can like feel the pain that he gets playing Sombra. I mean, I know he works hard. I mean, I'm not saying 3 is fucking bad. It's actually kind of cracked on Widow and other snipers. But when it comes to Sombra, I think he kind of loses that.
Yeah.
Hopefully with the new soldier changes, maybe the meta shifts, and OTW is gonna look even scarier.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to bring up. Like soldier with the soldier buff coming through, there are actually some pro teams that are replacing the Reaper with the soldier. So Sombra will still be meta. However, the hit scan DPS will be transferring over to that soldier. Well, we had our hit scan on Sombra pretty much most of the time, and yeah, so the hit scan will be transferring over to that soldier because soldier is just a CS:GO character pretty much now, and Sombra is still viable because hack is arguably one of the best utilities in the game to counter the best tank line in the game currently. So there's that. Anyways, player of the match, Xville, aka the Sombra specialist for Geometric, and honorable mention goes to Flank Yada for his phenomenal Ana play. He was able to land sleep after sleep and then hit some fat bionades that really helped carry the match. Anyways, moving on to our predictions. So, for the first game, we have Geometric versus Seattle Battle Cattle. Alright, this game, we pretty much, all of us predicted, well, that can predict, all of us predicted 3-0 Geo. I'm sorry, Formal Chicken. The analysts have a 100% favoritism towards Geo, and the community is 70% on Geometric's side. So, Geometric coming off of a big win on OTW, they could either just straight up roll this or have a I guess you'd say like a post game high, which is just, hey, let's just not try, we can chill finally because we have a weaker opponent. So Formal, since you are a part of this game, how are you guys preparing for Geo?
We've been preparing, going through our scrims, reviewing the VODs, and working on synergy with the new teammates. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for us moving forward throughout the rest of the season.
Yeah. So yeah, because obviously synergy is important, especially in a league play, and
yeah,
getting.
A lot.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say like a lot of the members of our team were kind of new to any type of organized play, myself included. This is my first season playing on any type of organized team. Just kind of been grinding comp forever. So it takes a little bit of getting used to for some people, and we're working on that. I know I am. So
yeah, for sure. So excuse me. I kind of want to ask Fifles and Juicebox, why'd you predict 3-0 Geo? Let's start with Fifles first.
Well, I mean, Geo have just looked incredibly strong every time I've watched them, especially when they can have like their DPS in and getting like work done, which like the rest of their team allows. So, and like Seattle hasn't really like shown too much promise in my opinion. But with the SBC added a new coach and they got Ghost Turtle from us, or from Hyperflex. So maybe they'll come out strong.
Alright, and Juicebox?
I think SBC is making steps the right direction for 3 weeks, and I think this time they're paying off. They looked much more improved. Their DPS are catching up fire, especially Lanox. So I still predicted a 3-0 because Geo has been playing out of their mind since preseason. So I don't see SBC just getting a map. But no offense to SBC, they're looking really, really strong coming into next week, and in the Swiss tournament. I think they're gonna get a win of weaker opponents.
So the reason why I predicted 3-0 Geo as well is because personally I believe I mean Geo did look really strong against OTW, arguably one of the best 3 teams in League Zero history. No, and it was just they just performed out of their minds. Like Xville is still a phenomenal Sombra, and Flank Yada is still there. SDA is SDA. You're not going to change him. Zexu arguably one of the best main tanks in the league, and Churd Pig. So there's that. And let's move on to our next match. This is going to be Hyperflex versus One Trick Wonders. Fifles and I cannot predict this game, so Juicebox and Formal Chicken have a 3-0 in favor of One Trick Wonders. The analysts are predicting 77% in favor of One Trick Wonders, and the community is also predicting 77% in the favor of One Trick Wonders. So, Juicebox, how are you? Why'd you predict a 3-0?
Because finally OTW can fucking win a game. I think, as you said, they're one of the strongest 2-3 teams. Their losses has just been so painful. Map 6, and map 5, and a complete roll from Wisdom, because first week we were disorganized a bit. The synergy wasn't really there. Mm-hmm. But I think right now going into Hyperflex is just on another level of fucked. I mean, they completely nuked their team, so I think there's gonna take to actually synergize well. So I think OTW is gonna win it pretty easily and finally get a win on the scoreboard, I think.
Yeah, and Formal Chicken, you also have a 3-0 scoreline for OTW. What do you think about that? Well, why'd you predict that?
Again, to echo what Juice was saying, OTW is a really good team. What I did see of their match on Monday or yesterday looked really good. They looked like they looked comfortable with the new main tank in me. And Hyperflex, I know they beat us in week 1, but they kind of a lot of their team, a lot of the pieces of their team have moved on or been traded. So I don't know. I don't see how Hyperflex could pull this one out.
Yeah, and then Fifles being a former manager of Hyperflex, do you have any words for your former players? Just words of encouragement or words of wisdom?
Well, first of all, obviously Hyperflex is the better team because they're not 0-3. Second of all,
Shots.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect from this game. I just hope both teams try their best and hopefully Hyperflex win, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, personally, obviously I'm rooting for One Trick Wonders because I am a coach for them. I'm looking, and this is one of the matches I was looking forward to because I was like, OTW had the toughest schedule for the first 3 weeks of the entire season because you pretty much had to face the upper half of the league with Geo, Monarchs, and Wisdom. So, but now that that's over, I'm really looking forward to see how we do against some teams that are very beatable. No offense, Hyperflex, but yeah, so I am looking forward to that. Anyways, let's move on to the final game, which is going to be Edinburgh, versus Wisdom. I cannot say Edinburgh to save my life. So,
bruh.
Bruh. Anyways, with this game, we all, for those of us that can predict, we have Wisdom winning. I have them winning 3-1. Fifels and Formal Chicken both have them winning 3-2. The analysts have a 100% prediction rate on Wisdom, and the community is 80% in Wisdom's favor. So, this is arguably, in my opinion, this is match of the week because this really proves Edinburgh's strength. If they can hang in with Wisdom, then they can probably beat anyone in this league, arguably. And since Juice is a coach slash assistant manager for Edinburgh, how are you guys going into this game, knowing that it's going to be pretty tough?
Okay, so Wisdom, okay, arguably one of like the best right now, the team to beat. Every preparation we did against Geo because we wanted to beat them to actually make a good week 1 start, we have to fucking double them because Wisdom is looking scary, is looking prepared, and they also have the synergy to take down probably an inter team. So going into that match, I'm gonna say Wisdom clearly looks the strong. But if there's a team that can take them to distance and even pull up the upset, it's us. Right now, we might not have the best top players in the league, but we have a strong roster. Probably every one on my team is either really close to the top or just makes really good players and a really good impact. So I'm not worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just worried that Wisdom is just on another level.
1 second.
They are really the team to beat. And I'm preparing, we're preparing, just doubling the amount of preparation we did for the other
Test.
weeks.
Alright. Wisdom is going to be arguably one of the toughest opponents to go against, especially for pretty much every single one of the teams in the league. Fifels and Formal have a prediction for 3-2 on Wisdom's side. Fifels, I want to start with why you predicted a 3-2.
Well, I think Wisdom. While I wouldn't go as far to say Wisdom would beat an inter team, I would say that they are, at least for me, the best team in Novice right now. They've looked really strong in all their games, and I think this will be close because I think Edinburgh are also. I know I butchered that.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody does.
I think they're really strong too. So I think it'll be really close. But I think Wisdom, at the end of the day, are just a little bit better and will be able to use that to push themselves over the finish line. But I mean, who knows? Especially with a new patch, maybe if Edinburgh have a goated soldier gamer, or if the meta shakes out to be something else, maybe they can win.
Yeah, for sure. Formal, you have the same scoreline of a 3-2 in favor of Wisdom. Why'd you choose that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of unanimous that Wisdom is considered the best team in Novice right now. Having played both EM last week and Wisdom the week before that, I feel like using that as a barometer, Wisdom did better against us than EM did. However, they're both great teams, and I think EM could pull off the upset. It's not, out of the realm of possibility by any means.
Yeah,
especially with the changes to Soldier. I'm not sure, who they have that could possibly play that hero, and if Soldier's gonna be meta and gonna make a big impact with those changes, anything could happen.
Yeah, so obviously, in my opinion, this is going to be match of the week. It's probably going to be streamed, so best of luck. Anyways, thank you all so much for coming over to the countdown. I'm sorry if you heard me yell at my dad for a few seconds for calling me down. Anyways, I really appreciate y'all watching, and if you are still continuing to watch, enjoy the intro segment. Thank you, and have a great day.
What's happening, members of League Zero? I'm your host, Gravekick, and welcome back to the Week 4 edition of the Intermediate Countdown. And here with a few of my guests. Say your name.
Hi, my name's Gamester. I play for Capitalism, and I am a Flex DPS.
Hi, I'm Jeff, aka Hamtaro. I am a Flex support and captain for MI6.
Yo, what's up? It's QZ, aka Ride Guy, main tank for Guangzhou Gangsters. You know how it is.
Yeah, guys, you know, a lot of different people here, all brand new guests, and we'll just jump straight into it. So the first game of the week we have was Capitalism versus Bench Gang, and to not a lot of our surprises, Capitalism took the win 3-0 against the Bench. We actually do have a Capitalism player here with the Gamester. So Gamester, I want to ask you, I did have a Capitalism player last week in our countdown, but I just want to ask you, how was your preparation leading up to this game, and did you think Bench Gang surpassed or underperformed your expectations?
Okay, I didn't actually play in the game, but I am kind of like a coach kind of person, because I coached for a little bit before I was on the team. But basically, I thought was, like, Bench could turn around at any time, right? Like, we realized that Bench has some skill that it could definitely do stuff with. And, like, we don't want to underestimate them, because, like, if we underestimate them, they could definitely just pull out a win, which we don't want to happen, right? So we went into there, like, making sure we were definitely, like, trying as if we were playing one of the better teams, just in case that Bench showed up and did what they were supposed to. But going into the game, I think one thing that Bench kind of underperformed because they were missing, I think, C-Teams to carry, personally. C-Team wasn't there, I don't think, unless if he was on an alt account, but C-Team was not there, I don't think. And, like, you could definitely see they were missing comms because they were pretty split and separated, so, yeah.
And I don't believe this game was recorded, but I feel like from the past weeks of watching the Bench, they are lacking team coordination. Since the first week, I haven't really seen them pull off any huge alt combos. They struggle with rotations. They don't really understand the meta very well. So I just feel like Bench Gang is just, the Bench is just falling more and more into this hole. And unless they start a turnaround, I don't see this team getting any better right now. Ragai and Humtar and Gio, from a Spectre's perspective, what did you guys think of this game?
I mean, they, no matter what's going on, they need to get it together quick, right? There's two teams that are without a win, and in my opinion, Bench has looked the worst of those two teams. It's getting to the point, if they don't get a win soon, they're going to find themselves out of the playoffs already early. And a lot of it is what you said. They just don't look like they're comboing. They don't look like they have a plan going into a lot of fights. They don't necessarily look the most organized. Obviously, they still have some good individual pieces, and teams need to make sure they prep for them. But as a team, they don't look like they have synergy there at all, unfortunately.
Ragai?
Yeah. I mean, I also don't really think that giving away Slimal was, the optimal thing to do, because at least I would assume, like, listening to his comms in certain maps and stuff like that when he was coaching Seattle, like, he's a really smart guy, and trading away a player like that, who I would assume would be a lot of your comms, is just kind of very detrimental to your team, especially on the main support role. So going in that direction already, like, kind of a no-no, and they're already kind of falling into a pit. They haven't won a map yet, so says something right there. But trading away another one of your good players is just, not what you want to see. So I don't know how they're going to rebound. Maybe they have something internally that they're going to experiment with, stuff like that. Maybe they're going to, go full off meta chaos comp to try to catch teams off guard to get the wins. I don't know what they're going to do, but, like, as you guys said, they better turn it around fast or they're done skis.
Yeah, like, I don't want to say this early on, but I really am getting Rio Redemption vibes right now. Like, this team has been, there's maybe glimpse of hope here and there, but if you ask me right now, I think this team should just full rebuild. Okay, Rio was, I remember last season, Rio Redemption was under the impression that if they just fix their teamwork, fix their coordination, they could become a winning team. But what happened? They went 0-11 last season, and pretty much nothing changed. They had glimpses of hope, just like how the Bench is right now. But unless things don't change early on, they're gonna finish probably like 0-8 or something this season. And I don't think any of us want to see that.
I mean, Rio tried to rebuild; it just didn't work out. The pieces that they tried to move around just didn't work, so it was just kind of unlucky.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you don't get the length of last season, right? It's a little bit shorter, right? They only have 5 more games, so it's going to be hard. It's a lot of work that management and coaching is going to have to do to turn that situation around.
Because even if they have a perfect record season, going 0-9 in map differential, like, that's tough.
Yeah. One thing to also add about that game, I think it was actually I think it was actually an 90% speed run for League Zero. I think it was the fastest game in League Zero. It was a 20
20 minutes. Yeah, 20
Yeah.
minutes.
Wow, that is quite impressive.
But we don't. It's hard to tell the time because during that, I think during all of our games, the servers were kind of bad and all the custom games were crashing. So.
Well, anyways, I think we can move on. The player of the match was Shanks. Congratulations to him, with the honorable mentions going to Rouge. Congratulations to you as well. Both played extremely well, and they both deserved it. Going on to the next game of the week, we had Guangzhou Gangsters versus DC, and this game was by far the biggest upset I've seen in a while. The Guangzhou Gangsters came into this game with, I think, 92% of the community think they're going to lose, either 3-1 or 3-0, and they somehow come out with a 3-2 victory over DC. Of course, I had to bring in a Guangzhou Gangsters guest on the show. Rye Guy, I have so many questions, but I just want you to say, how does it feel coming in as underdog and beating a strong DC team that had yet to lose a map?
Me personally, I treat every win the same, so it doesn't really affect me as much. But I know after we won, we were ecstatic. We were very, very happy that we won that game, and throughout the entire game, we I don't know what it was. It wasn't really there against MI6, but we had like a fuel. We had like a passion, like a burning like fire to win that game. And every one of our players just felt like they needed to win and put their entire like soul into that game. And like we came out with the win. I think every single person on our team played extremely well that game. But I can't help but feel like, you know, it could have been different with Kate there. I know that. Would have supported Tyler a lot more on that main tank role. You know, I'm not going to say that was the reason for why they lost, because I think we still would have probably beaten them regardless, just because of how much we really wanted to win that game. But, you know, I wasn't really there the first two maps because I had to reinstall Overwatch because Overwatch sucks as a game. But, you know, the last three maps, we just had this fire to win it after getting kind of bodied on Rialto. Like, I don't know what it was after that map. It was kind of just like a snap in our heads, and we just kind of, you know, we just kind of turned up. Like after Anubis, like we fully just kind of turned up and started to shove our like egos down their throat. And I think it really showed on Kings Road just kind of how dominant we can be when we actually put our foot down.
Definitely. Jeff and Gamester, from a spectator's perspective, what do you think gave Guangzhou the edge in this game?
Well, one thing I was just looking at in terms of DC is like, obviously DC has shown themselves as a great team, but like when I look into it, like I think about strength of schedule, because obviously they played bench. That game doesn't matter about map differential. They played our team, but like I talked to a lot of members on our team. Like I wasn't there week one, obviously I wasn't on the team. But like a lot of my teammates are saying like capitalism was a lot worse than they were then than now. So then you think about with DC playing two teams that I don't know how bad capitalism was first week because I didn't really pay attention, but you think about strength of schedule and you think about if DC is good or if they're playing easier teams, you know.
Fair. Sorry to cut you off, Gio. Before, I just want to say something to that. I do think you have to take with a grain of salt that Katie was not there, and Katie was a big part of their previous successes. And they also did go 9-0, which is even against bad teams, which is still very impressive to do. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on it. Jeff, you can continue.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say the exact same thing, Grape. Their starting off tank not being there is going to be a big hurt, especially with the resources they've put into them to succeed, right? It's a team that it's an unfortunate loss. It's unfortunate when you can't have a key player there. Any team that isn't going to have one of their key players there is going to struggle. And you know, credit to Guangzhou taking it. I think they're a good team. I think I have questions about their DPS line, but you know, I think missing a key piece going into a fight is going to make the difference in the end. It's going to make that 1 map, 2 map difference. And I think DC is going to be a stronger team based on the loss. It's always good to lose. It teaches you a lot about a team and can give you that drive to be better. Guangzhou experienced that probably between the MI6 map 5 loss last week and this week. I think if DC is anything like most of the teams here, they're going to look a lot stronger going into next week based on the fact that they lost. You know, it teaches you a lot about your team. You learn more about your team in a loss than you do in a win. So.
Definitely. But yeah, I still think Guangzhou did deserve this one a lot, but I would be interesting to see if KD was there, how it would have turned out. I will take Ryguy's word for it that they could have won, but I do think it would have been, even though this game was super close, I do think it could have been even more close with KD in the match. But, just something to say, Jeff?
Jeff didn't say anything, but I'll say something. I really wish I could have been there the first couple maps, so at least that first control map, so me and Tyler could have had more Ryan battles. Upsetting that we only had 2 maps, whereas main tank, we main tank, but it is what it is. Unlucky circumstances. GG's.
I think we can move on then. The player in the match did go to Greek God X. I believe he was an off-tank player, so congratulations.
Oh, he played out of his mind, dude.
I
love the man.
He's an amazing guy. Then on match were, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but Clue and then QZ. Ryguy. Congratulations to Ryguy and Greek God X and Clue. Going to the next game of the week, we had Mob Mentality versus Obligation. Unfortunately, we do not have any guests from this game. However, I think it is important to understand what was said on the countdown last week, where Red Knight said he would be disappointed if it wasn't a 3-0, and the team came out with a 3-0 against Obligation. Instead of me kicking it off this time, I'm gonna let you guys kick it off. Gamester, Jeff, or Ryguy, what were your guys' take on this game?
Yeah, I think Mob by a mile has the best understanding of Shadow Dive meta, and I think it shows. Week in, week out, they seem to run the comp really well. Kilroy understands the Sombra role really well. Phone has worked really hard on leveling his Reaper aggression somewhat, and Red seems to be calling the right targets. They're all on the same page, and the team looks really good on this comp. Every week they're just going to keep being dominant. They face their biggest test this week against DC. But after a disappointing Smilers Invitational, mad props for the team in general, just working out this comp with, from what I understand, very limited coaching outside of the team itself.
I'll just go on the opposite side. So Obligation, I think what Obligation needs to do at this point, I don't think current meta plays to the strengths of the team. I don't think their DPS are as confident on Sombra and Reaper as they are on Snipers. So I think what they should do really is to try to obviously teams, even though they're running meta, you can easily shut them down with a different comp if they don't know how to deal with it. Especially with double sniper. If they don't know how to deal with double sniper, you can really shut down meta if you think the team can't deal with it. I think they gotta force that double sniper because they obviously have really good pieces. There's Squirrel Ben, obviously a good Hanzo, a good Widow too. Mr. Wolf, another good Widow. So they have 2 really good snipers on their team. And I think if they can get a team to fall apart under the double sniper, that's how they're gonna win.
I mean, in all fairness, after the first map, they did play those unconventional double snipers comp, and they still couldn't win those 2 maps. They got absolutely obliterated in the first map in the meta mirror. But I don't think I don't think they should be relying on the double sniper comp. I do want them to practice this meta comp because meta ain't going anywhere. You can get picks with double sniper, but if a team is coordinated enough, like Mob Mentality, who work their asses off every single week, they can abuse the double sniper and they will still beat it with meta.
But the Soldier changes though, Soldier is gonna change the meta.
In all fairness, from what I've heard from the pro players, it won't make that much of a difference. Soldier is more viable now, but think about it this way: what utility does he provide that other DPS do?
No, I agree. I do agree.
I think what I've heard is from our coach, a couple of our coaches, is that Soldier is more viable in areas where you can run viably run poke. So places where you're gonna want to run rush or whatever shadow dive are places where you're gonna keep it. If you cannot get away with a poke comp, you can't play it. So that's at least what I've heard.
Raga, what was your take on this game?
I mean, striking resemblance to another team last year with Obligation. A very overhyped team, in my opinion, going into the league. Was predicted to be 2nd or 3rd. Ended up kind of flopping, to be honest. Right now, they're not really looking too hot. And they just can't physically run meta at all. It's really similar to another pink team that we saw last season. But in all seriousness, they just need to find a comp that works for them. I don't think they're good at sniper heroes, but they just can't execute the sniper comp well, so I think they need to find another alternative. Maybe just a May rush comp with the Ryan or something, I don't know. Just something different they need to try it because right now they're not looking too hot. And if they keep losing like this to like the top of the the best teams in the league losing 3-0, like that's just kind of like you just need to do something. Like if you were predicted to be second or third and you're losing to a team that's predicted to be like 5th place, 3-0, like that's I don't know. There's something that needs to be changed.
Yeah, I mean, judging from watching contenders and a lot of OD, the meta is straying more towards the Reinhardt now over the Monkey, and Domination is a very good Reinhardt. So I do really want to see Obligation play more meta, especially coming into this next week, where Reinhardt will probably be more favored than the Monkey. So I definitely do think they have the pieces. They just need to bring it all together, and they have a good enough coaching staff to do so.
I don't think they have. The one thing I think they're kind of missing. I mean, Sloth or whatever. I know he doesn't like playing Sombra too much, so I don't know if they have like a good Sombra player. Like a lot of these teams, like pretty much every other team has a player that's pretty good at Sombra. And I just don't see that with Obligation, personally.
Yeah, fair point. But I think we can move on from that game. The player of the match was Quirt, and the honorable mention was Jill. I don't know how to pronounce it. Jula. Exactly. So congratulations to both those individuals. Going into the last game of the week, we had MI6 versus Content Credence. We do have an MI6 representative here with Jeff, sorry. So Jeff, I want to ask you, what was your preparation coming into this game, and how were you guys able to win the game just overall against Content?
We knew Content wouldn't run a lot of meta going into it. They just don't have the pieces there. I played on a team with Steady. I've coached Repeat in the past. And I know they've had main tank issues. I think Bard is now going to be there more consistently, and they picked up Penguin. So we really just went into the game knowing that if we played aggressively to our strengths and, remained confident, we would pull it out. And, that really helped us on the first couple maps. I think we got overconfident, they kind of bought it back. But we obviously knew they had the Widow in shot, absolutely insane. We needed to play around sightlines. And I think in the end, we just executed better on map 5. So it was an interesting matchup, but I'm glad to see us securing it in the end.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. Gamester or Raga, what was your guys' take on this game from a spectator's perspective?
I'll go from the side of Content. I guess I'll just start with the losing team. Content obviously not out of this. They're not even that bad of a team when you think about it. Most of the games they've played have been pretty close. I think lost twice on map 5. So I think what they need to focus on is pulling it through, especially it would be helpful for them to work on meta, but obviously Kishshot is a good Widow. Steady State, I think he's good on. I don't know what he's good on, but I know he's good. And I just think Content just needs to pull it out. You need to finish the game instead of bringing it to a map 5 and then just losing.
I guess my question, and I'm sorry but I don't know who the leading voice is on Content. I don't know who their comms leader is, and I think that's hurting them in these close match situations. I don't know who they have for comms on that team, and I think it's hurting them.
Yeah, they could definitely work on that though, especially since they're getting a consistent main tank since Vantage did some stuff. So Bard should be taking over as comms on there, I imagine, which should make them look better, I hope, for their sakes. But yeah.
All I can say, it just ain't their meta. It really isn't. I love Steady. He's probably one of the best flex DPS in this league. Not in this league, but in Inter. But this meta doesn't really play to a lot of his characters. He's more of an actual projectile player with the Echo, the Junkrat, the Pharah, kind of stuff like that. So it just doesn't really fit him. But if you can find a comp where you can put Steady on those roles, and execute it well, this team will be rolling. I guess they're trying it with the Echo, not really finding much success on it, which it'll come with time. But I think that they can put Steady in a place to succeed, that they'll do really, really well. But until then, step it up. You're 0-3. Let's go.
Yeah, I definitely came into this game thinking Content could win, especially if I don't know if Ventures was there that game, but I was expecting Ventures to come in. If he was there, I expected them to win, but without a main tank for a few games, Content Creators did put themselves in a hole, but they've kept every single game competitive. So it's good to see that with these new pickups, they're going to be on the upward trend now. But I just do think MI6 had the edge in this game, and they, even though they lost the map 3 and 4, they were able to pull it back up in map 5.
2 map 5s in a week. Let's go.
Oh, same. Shut up.
However, moving on from that, the player of the match was Gag, and the honorable mention was Remy. Congratulations to both of you. Going to the next segment, we have the prediction segment. And the first game of the week we have is Capitalism versus Content Credence. Me and Jeff both have Content winning as a 3-1 or 3-2. QZ has Capitalism winning 3-1. And of course, GameStar not going to be predicting here, but GameStar, I want to ask, how are you guys preparing for Content Credence, and what are you guys' expectations versus them?
So obviously we think Content it definitely has chances to pull anything out, especially since they've run it close to pretty much every team they've played, and like a lot of those teams are good too. So like Content, I think if they can pull it together, it can do really well. But we're also trying to get so obviously we picked up Duga, a pretty good main tank player. So we're just really trying new things to see what works better and to improve our meta. Like we've been working a lot on meta, just to because we know meta. Like, especially right now, meta just kind of wins against other comps if you run it properly. Like, that's the point of meta. But, like, if you know meta perfectly, you're going to win 100% of the time. So if you get meta down, especially in Inter, I think if we get meta down, we can do really well. I think whatever team gets meta down well, does well. For example, Mob. Mob has a good understanding of Shadow Dive, and they are doing really well. So, yeah.
Definitely. I'm actually going to go to Ryguy here. Ryguy, why do you think Capitalism is going to win this game?
I don't rate Content that highly as a team. I think they need a serious meta change in order for them to actually be like I think the addition of Penguin, I haven't really seen him much as a player. I know he's decently smart. Might not have shown it Pugs with what he was doing, but we can talk about that. But I know he's decently smart, so whatever role he plays on, I think he'll do fine. But in order for this team to succeed, I think they just need a serious meta change, because right now it just doesn't seem like they have the team coordination to pull off any sort of Shadow Dive. And if they do, it's more or less just they win off of mechanical skill rather than actual team play. And against just like, even like middle of the pack teams, like to better teams like Capitalism, like it just won't work. So I don't really see them winning this at all. Maybe I give them a map because they have the individual skill to I think at least take one, but I don't see them winning this game.
Fair point. Jeff, I want to ask you, why do you think Content Credence has the edge in this game?
I think they're getting better week after week, honestly. I think, they took Mob Mentality 3-2 2 weeks ago. They lost another map 5 this week against us. I think now, with their backs against the wall, they're going to probably take this a little more seriously and realize they need to get a win this week. And I think that will be enough drive to pull the team together to get a win. I think they've been really unlucky. I don't think they deserve the 0-3 record, but at some point you need to prove it, and I think this is the week where they have to prove it. So I'm just hoping that they get their stuff together for this week so that they're not in a similar situation as the bench.
Fair point. In my opinion, I think Content has edge in this game just because they have some new pickups. They've played very well with an inconsistent main tank and some weeks not even having a main tank. So bringing on Penguin and bringing on some other players is definitely going to boost their morale and also hopefully help them in game as well. But I do think Capitalism has a chance, but I just have to give Content Credence edge here.
Grape just hates Capitalism.
It's
It's been proven already.
It's going to be a good game regardless, like 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Grape is communist.
I know, he hates capitalism. He had to buy a Boston Uprising Torb skin.
Okay, we don't talk about that. Anyways, going into the next game of the week, we have DC versus Mob Mentality. Probably the game of the week. However, all of us here have Mob Mentality winning 3-0 or 3-2. I'm actually going to go first here. I think Mob Mentality is going to win 3-0 because every single time I've underestimated this team, they have pulled out a 3-0 victory. This team is full of individuals who work their butts off every single week and want to break the stigma around their team. They came into this league with many of them saying it's the phone show. Many of them saying that phone's going to carry this team. But when they came in, it was literally some of the best teamwork we've seen in such a low division in leagues here before. And I think this team's going to go in not giving a single fuck and just win 3-0 here. I want to be honest. Raga, I want to ask you, why do you think they're going to win 3-0?
Because they're better.
Oh, that's it?
Nah, but like in all seriousness, like I think Mob plays at such a high tempo that those Zarya comps aren't going to get much value. And you know, I've scrimmed DC. I know what they're going to play. No leaks at all. But like, I can see that Shadow Dive will just like Shadow Dive. I think that any comp they're running right now will just get beaten by Shadow Dive because of the pure aggression that comes out from Mob right now, and just when every single player on a team understands a meta and then learns to play it faster and just continuously faster and faster and faster each week, it gets really hard for other teams to keep up, and I don't see them stopping right now. I also think Double Cap, while they're really good individually, their team play is very, very sloppy sometimes. I know their ability usage on Zarya is pretty questionable, so I think they're going to get exploited really, really hard in this game, and it's going to be a kind of a serious wake-up call. If last week wasn't already a wake-up call, like this is going to be the big wake-up call if they lose here. I think they're going to get absolutely destroyed, just purely because of the fact that Mob is so aggressive and they understand how to punish people's like dumb ability usage. So,
Jeff and GameStar.
You know, I like
sorry,
these guys.
go on. All right, Jeff and GameStar. Why do you think this game is be much closer than you think me and Raga think it is?
Go ahead, Gamester. You can go.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so my thought is I'm pretty sure Mob's gonna win. Even with, I know inside information here, but I know Capta is playing this week from Fimi. So, I mean, I think it's gonna be closer, but like if your guys' like 3-0 prediction goes through, I think you have to put in serious thought about like what I said previously about whether this team is really one of the better ones or if they kind of got an easy schedule off the start. You know, especially if it's like a not close 3-0 at all. So.
Fair point, Jeff. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be closer than you guys just because I do think DC is going to have some sort of wake-up call after last week. I also think there's maps where they can pick and run some of the stuff they want to run that they're good at and find better success. So I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep. You know, Mob, they still lost 3-2 to Content, right? Or won 3-2 to Content, sorry. So it's not like it's been clean sweeps all around, and I think DC is a stronger team than Content. So I would be shocked if DC doesn't pick up a map. And if they don't pick up a map, yeah, you need to start looking at what you're running and maybe think about making some changes because maybe teams have you figured out. So,
fair point. But yeah, I think we can all move on from that game. Going into next week, we have Obligation versus Guangzhou Gangsters. All of us have Guangzhou Gangsters winning 3-1. All of us actually have them winning 3-1. Raga, you're in this game. I want to ask you, what is your preparation leading up to this game, and how are you guys going to prepare against a lot of these off-meta strategies coming out from Obligation?
I mean, no leaks, but we're cooking up something in the lab. We're cooking up something in the kitchen, you know. We're not gonna let, you know, we're not obviously comfortable on the meta, or at least as comfortable as a lot of the other teams are. We can still run it, just not as effectively as we need to. So, you know, we're cooking up something in the kitchen, and I think that just the pure, I don't know, just the individual talent that we have on our roster is kind of just better in a way than Obligation. So we're not really worried about their team too much, but that doesn't mean we're not preparing. Like, we're preparing pretty hard. We have our week booked full of scrims because we don't want to lose to this team. Like, are you kidding me? Because I want to knock these guys down to 1-3. I want to put them in the bottom standings where they belong. Like, I think that they. Actually, I don't even know if they're gonna take a map off of us because I can definitely see them pulling out some weird comp or Squadrons on fire on that Widow or something like that. Maybe gives them a map, but I think that just personally we're just way more aggressive than them and we're way better as a team. So I don't see them really taking anything. I think that we're kind of just chilling, doing our own game, making some stuff in the kitchen, and we're gonna come out and we're just gonna serve it to them. So.
Yeah, fair point. I haven't really been impressed with Obligation. I feel like they're turning into a one-trick team, even though they have played other strategies, they haven't found any success with it. And I feel like this will just be same old, same old. They're going to try to play meta, get boomed on it, go back to the double sniper, and not find success. I do feel like they have a chance, but I don't see them playing out the win. Jeff and Gamester, why do you guys think Guangzhou Gangster has the edge here?
Okay. Well, I think Guangzhou Gangsters, obviously, they beat DC. DC's thought of, like, for the first 2 weeks or so, they were thought of as the best team in the division. So obviously that looks good for them going into this game, especially since DC beat a team that beat Obligation, which was us, and they beat them. So just going into this, I think Guangzhou Gangsters just knows meta, and I think they can just shut down the double sniper. Also, I just think, sorry, but with Obligation, I just think their coaching's interesting, because I think even though they know they can't run meta, they have no enforcement. Like if they just enforce their players to lock the meta and just learn it, they would actually learn it. But like, what they do, like like, you remember the game they recorded? There was a lot of like times where like when they were losing, they didn't really like say anything. They were just kind of like, they're just blaming it. They're kind of just making excuses on why they're losing. Obviously. So like, I don't think you can make excuses about losing when you're not running meta and then complain about meta, which is something that they've done. So I think they just need to like get on meta, and I think their coaching staff needs to recognize, oh, we just need to go on meta, and we need to force these players to learn meta so we can start winning.
Definitely. Jeff, what are your opinions on this game?
Guangzhou Gangsters is just a better team, honestly. That's it. Like, Obligation doesn't look comfortable in any of the games I've watched. Another team that is a bunch of really good individual players, I'm sure, but they seem to lack the understanding of comp synergies. Guangzhou Gangsters, as much as I have questions about some of the substitutions they make at times, and in a lot of these games, I feel like they maybe go a little heavy-handed on the subs. I think by now they probably have an idea who's going to be starting, hopefully, and that should be enough for them to take control of this series, as long as they take it seriously and don't get overconfident.
Yep, I definitely have to agree with you there. We are running a little bit short on time, so let's just jump right into the next game. I feel like we all can agree that Guangzhou is a better team and they will probably win that game. But going to the last game of the week, we have Bench Gang versus MI6, and I would jump to Geoff and ask him why he's going to win, but I have the Gamester.
You know, they gotta win this game.
Gamester,
so
why do you
they
think
bounce back?
Bench Gang
bounce
will win
back.
3-0?
It's not Bench Gang. This is
The
not
bench, whatever, will win 3-0.
Well, it's partially just because I want them to, because it would be kind of funny. But no offense to MI6, I just want to see Bench win anything. To be honest.
Alright, that's definitely a take coming out. Jeff, let's bring this to a more serious note. Jeff, what is your preparation going up against the bench, and what are you guys' expectations versus them?
Expect that they're gonna play their hardest this week. Our main focus is, still practicing and just making sure we're 100% focused on this game, and we're not looking forward to the next game after the bye, right? I think we just can't get overconfident, and we need to take it week by week. That hurt us a lot week one. We were overconfident. I think we got bought back by that, right? So we just can't let ourselves get overconfident. Based on, what we've seen in play, it would be, this is a game that we should be winning, in all honesty. So if we're losing it, it's because we're getting overconfident and not taking it seriously. So that's been our main focus this week.
Alright, that's good to hear. Good to hear. Right, guy, why do you think MI6 will win 3-0?
Because they're better.
What do I expect?
I don't even need to say more on that one.
Yeah, I actually don't have to. The bench has made changes. I don't think it's going to make any difference. I want to be honest, I don't think they're taking a map this week. I want to be serious.
Yeah.
IMO, their best player, Slimo, is gone, so...
No, what do you mean? Panera Panini is so good, man.
My bad. Panera Panini.
Panera Panini. That's why they're going to 3-0, man.
I think Panera's fine.
No, Panera's pretty good.
I just think Slimo was better.
I just hope the game doesn't get streamed, honestly, because there's so many other good games that need to be streamed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, my thing was partially a joke, but I definitely think Bench could dig a map if they really put their full effort in.
Oh, man.
But it's partially the 3-0s for Panera Panini. Shout out to him. Very, very cool man.
Simp.
Oh yeah, I am. Sorry.
Simp watch. But yeah, I think there's nothing more to be said there. It could be 3-0. Both ways, I don't see Ben taking a map unless they actually show me hope. If they take a map this week, that's pretty much a W in their book. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, I think that's it. Does anyone have any final statements?
Bench is so good.
Bench is not so good.
Alright then, I think we can end it off there then. Thank you guys all for watching this week's edition of the Countdown. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And remember to tune in for next week's Countdown. But for now, see you guys later.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Countdown for the week. We just had a week of really solid games. Today I am here with Mani, Shimshimothy, and Victor.
Greetings.
What's up? What's up, man?
Hello.
Obviously, this is the first week of free agency, and as of when I'm doing the recording, the Halloween update just happened and the soldier changes did go through. So it's entirely possible we will be seeing some interesting compositions for this week's games. But we'll go ahead and start off with the recap. Our first game was Tokyo Drifters against Vertigo. Tokyo Drifters won 3-0. The player of the match was me. And the honorable mention was Ranter. Obviously, as a player, I don't really have much to say. It was kind of a blowout. Obviously, the 3-0, and I got to play. I'm the greatest. No
yeah, I mean, like
bias.
the player of the match. I think that gives a really good story of how the game goes.
Mhm.
I honestly think this RMM guy, like, I think he could be a blow-up star suddenly. Nobody...
Yeah, maybe he'll bench Ranter because Ranter's now banned
Yeah, Ranter got banned for, I don't know.
for a
Oh my
month
god, my
because
dog
he's
is very
racist.
angry at Ranter. He cannot handle Ranter being racist.
Yeah, Monty, with you being on Vertigo, do you know anything about what happened, what transpired during this match?
Not at all.
They lost.
Yeah, that's about it. Things went to burr. That's about all I can say.
Okay,
Oh my god.
yeah, that match isn't a very,
Your dog doesn't like Vertigo. Shit.
yeah, that match there isn't very much to talk about. Tokyo just kind of
Vertigo
team
moment.
diffed. Obviously, you
Tokyo
have
won 3
Tunic.
maps.
You have Tunic doing his classic jump from high ground beating. Yeah, it happens.
Certified Hood Classic.
Yeah, certified hood classic. So our second match was one of our closer ones. Well, one of the 3-2s. Epizeuxis against Powerhouse. Epizeuxis won 3-2. The player of the match was Cam. The honorable mentions are Blossom and No You. Obviously, with No You getting that honorable mention, he did play most of the match, if I recall correctly.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Powerhouse, in my opinion, looked really, really good. Obviously, you could tell a difference that the team looked way, way better when they have Akimbo in compared to Kit. Obviously, you know, the DPS line was really, really good. The main thing I really noticed, other than Akimbo playing really well, was their starting supports was Lechuga and Lilac. Lechuga was on her main role, and Lilac was as well. So instead of having Lechuga play Lucio, they had him on Moira, and Lilac was on Lucio.
Oh,
And I definitely think that might be the best support line for Powerhouse that they could put in.
yeah,
But-
like
Dude, the Lilac, the goat.
Yeah, Lilac Lechuga just seems like the best DPS line that Powerhouse could be fielding.
The support.
DPS.
Yeah, DPS, you heard me. I
He's
didn't
right.
misspeak.
He's right.
I want to see Lilac on projectile DPS and Lechuga on hit scan.
I don't
mean,
think
I'd
that
be
Powerhouse
down.
would.
I'd be down.
Goat known as Jason.
No, Jason, yeah, he's gonna be on Mercy. Trust me.
I mean,
I played with him.
I think
He's a goat on support.
the maps like Surmi was in. What was that like, with Surmi and 4? It was like the map Surmi was in. They lost, right?
I don't remember. I watched the game.
I'm not sure how it went, but I know like 4 was like
Can't remember.
in there.
Yeah,
for, like,
people
the
were
ending of the
talking
game.
about 4 being
So I
exceptionally.
think going forward, I think Epizeuxis should play 4 at least over Surmi. Just I think just from like seeing that and how that goes.
From all of the maps I've seen foreign compared to Cermi, Epizooks has played a lot better. I think.
I think 4 just like fits better into the team.
Yeah, I think in general this is a better meta for 4's like hero pool, and he
Also
does better with the team.
Cermi Diva moment.
Yeah,
True.
Cermi
Diva.
But yeah, that was a pretty excellent game in my opinion. Our next game is Plat Chat against Overcharged. Plat Chat won 3-2. The player of the match was that's not right. It should say Victor.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's Victor, and the honorable mention is Nikos. Obviously Plat Chat once again looking very, very good. Gil looks great. Obviously, Pew Pew actually played this game, unlike last week where it was Chrome Zephyr. Pew Pew, always the best, greatest man alive.
Very good.
You know, Victor, that guy's pretty awesome. He's pretty
Yeah,
chill.
I
He's
love
pretty
that
good at
guy.
the
I love
game.
that
I
guy.
haven't really heard of him much, but I heard he's like a decent DPS.
I will say,
A little bit unknown.
A little bit of a
Yeah.
somber one trick. What can I
Yeah.
say?
yeah, I will
Dark
say,
Horse.
I will say this on the halfway season point, Nikos, I've seen the most improvement from a
Nikos
starter
is the
from-
fucking
yeah.
Nikos is the inter main tank player, literally off tank differencing every team. It's
Yeah,
actually crazy.
He's
It's powerful.
really,
He
really
shouldn't-
grown over since week 1. Like he was probably the worst off tank week
Hmm.
1, and now he's close to top 4 probably this
I'd say
week.
powerhouse. is
Like even
not
week 1, like
powerhouse.
he wasn't even bad.
Yeah,
It was just like the team around him. Like, you know, I was definitely totally not on like remoting into a computer from the beach on my school laptop, but like that didn't happen that much. But like like the team around him just wasn't that strong. So like, I mean, you can't really look that great when you're just an off tank player.
Yeah.
When your team isn't doing well.
So I
Like
definitely think
he's done
that-
very good this season, especially not even being like supposed to be in this div. So it's kind of crazy.
Plat Chat in general has just been on the upswing, especially in the second half of the season.
It's
Yeah.
been it's still the first half.
Plat Chat is a
You heard
sneaky
me.
good team. Very
Oh, shit.
sneaky good.
The shim doesn't stutter.
I don't
His
stutter.
words are always truth.
He does not stutter.
It's a premonition. In the second half of the season, Plat Chat's just gonna get better.
I mean,
Oh,
by
God.
then, Nova gets unsuspended.
Nova
Wait,
was
is he
suspended last week. He's suspended by life
Oh,
for a while. For a while.
I mean,
Nik-
obviously you
Nikos-
don't need him. Nikos looks
Yeah, Nikos
good.
is here to stay.
it's life
Nikos is
difference.
actually
Life
Nikos' Diva is actually Pog.
Yep.
With that 3001 SR, he's so goated.
popping off.
But our last game, Kingdom Come beat Hangzhou Bark 3-2. The player of the match was Epic Shock, and the honorable mention was Giz. This is the only game I didn't watch just because I've been kind of busy, but from what I know, Giz actually didn't play main support. It was actually a copy dog. Obviously, Kingdom Come did pick up Slimal from intermediate, so maybe their plan is to start him. I'm not sure how well that'll go. Obviously, there's a lot of doubt. Obviously, with an inter player moving up, going from basically inter to starting on a team, that's a lot of pressure. Especially with Kingdom Come's, I guess, expectations. I know a lot of people expect a lot out of them. But in my opinion, this is a game Hangzhou should not have lost.
I think like this game is like the beginning of the end for Hangzhou. Like I think from here it's just gonna go down and down because like they really should have won that. Like they got reverse swept by like maybe the most scuffed lineup I've ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whew.
This. Oh, go ahead.
It just kind of shows that Hangzhou is almost completely momentum based because they lost like the first map and just didn't play as well for the rest. And MSD Goper.
I personally believe that this team was rated highly because of some of the players on their team. They were known by the people who were in Horizon. because
Mhm.
the DPS lineup of Chuggy J and Acid, even though Acid is on main tank, I think.
No, he's on DPS.
Is he?
played main
Because
tank, I
He
thought.
played that game on main tank.
yeah, he played that
did?
game on main
I
tank.
think he is
Oh.
going to be playing main
Oh, yeah,
tank.
they had
from now
Aspect
on.
playing. Band player.
Yeah, Aspect and the initial DPS lineup that everybody thought would be Chuggy J and Acid. They were on Yikes in Horizon League and they were in the finals. So everybody was looking at Hangzhou Bark for that sort of synergy that those two have and a pop-off potential. But I think it's just been a little bit underwhelming, considering, like, I'd say that either the rest of the league has caught up to them in synergy, or they've just fallen off hard.
I personally
Why-
think I just really think this isn't the meta for either of them. Chuggy J
Mhm.
Sombra is very
Like-
very not
Questionable.
average.
And like I think in like a meta where comms are pretty important, like especially from a DPS player on Sombra. Like
Mhm.
Chuggy, I know he doesn't talk at all, so that's definitely a big issue for them. I'd guess
Yeah.
just because like Sombra for coordination, you really need to talk a lot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
the
But
meta is
Aspect has
not
been
kind
playing
to this
Sombra.
team, and it seems like this meta will be the same for
Mhm.
a majority of the season. We could potentially see a shift
yeah.
by playoff time.
Definitely think. Honestly, I think there might be one next week with the soldier buffs. He could be a must pick against dive
Yeah.
because the heal station, sprint, and just overall damage output.
I
Mhm.
think that it might be the opposite. I think he could be situational, but I think that a good dive easily counters a soldier, purely because of the fact that he doesn't really have a burst movement option. All he can do is run away really fast. And if you have a coordinated team, he won't have time to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean,
for Hangzhou, obviously, their bread and butter of their team is their DPS line. Obviously, when their DPS are underperforming, the whole team's gonna underperform. Especially when, the main tank Smile. I haven't heard amazing things about him. I've heard good and bad, but I'm assuming he played pretty bad. Especially when Acid apparently played main tank over him. Especially, and if Aspect was playing DPS, he's now banned. So they're gonna have to run someone. They would rather have a DPS player on their role. So this could be a really, really bad month for Hangzhou. They obviously need to make a free agent pickup or two.
Yeah.
But that was all our games from last week. So we'll start with the predictions. Our first game is. Oh, Monty, you can actually predict that game now.
all right.
Yeah, our first game is
Oh.
Tokyo Drifters against Kingdom Come. Obviously, me and Shim, since we're both Tokyo players, we can't predict it. Monty, you can go ahead do your prediction right now. But since Monty got traded from Kingdom Come originally, he can't do the prediction, but now he can. So let's see what he predicts. What will he do? But yeah, Victor, he has it going 3-1 to Tokyo Drifters, and Monty has it going 3-2. Our analysts have 92% to Tokyo, and the community has Tokyo winning 67%. Yeah, Victor, any reason why you do 3-1?
Like personally, I just think Tokyo right now they're just like the best team in the league, just like with their current lineup and like the compositions they play with, like the Pharah Tracer. I think they're just better because they've also beaten every team. And I think Kingdom Come, they're like resurging after that reverse sweep last week, but I don't think they'll be able to completely pull it together to take down Tokyo.
Yeah, Money, you have it as a 3-2. Do you think this will be a reverse sweep of some kind?
I don't think it's gonna be a reverse sweep. I'm leaning more to the like extremely close game because I think Kingdom Come. It's obviously gonna be a little bit biased because I was on that team, but I definitely think that Kingdom Come can put up a really good fight, especially with their newfound comms with all the like different subs they're making now. So yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Tokyo Drifters are a great team, but I think that Kingdom Come isn't gonna go down without a fight.
Yeah.
Mm.
So our next game is Epizeuxis against Platchat. Everyone has a 3-2, but I'm the only one who thinks Platchat will win. I've doubted Platchat. I have doubted them every single week. In fact, I'm pretty sure every week I've had them losing. I'd have to check that, but this week I think they win. I think Epizeuxis is a really, really good team, but I think Platchat can actually pull off the upset here. It'll be a very, very close match. Obviously, I forgot to say the analysts and community. Analysts predict 58% of the analysts predict Epizeuxis and 60% of the community. But obviously, Platchat has been rolling pretty decently. Obviously, 3-2 doesn't mean rolling, but Overcharge was rated pretty highly by a lot of people. So I think they could do it.
Yep.
Shim, Monty, you predict a 3-2 towards Epizeuxis. I'm pretty sure you two probably hold the same, I guess, the same idea that I do, that it'll probably be a very close one.
Yeah.
I think it'll be close. I just think that Epizeuxis has already proved they can beat decent teams. I want to see Platchat also show that. Because, sure, they're on their upswing, but nobody knows how good they are after they beat Overcharged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know that they're
sorry,
better
go
than
ahead.
Overcharged, but we don't know much else. So they just need to prove themselves to us.
I think this game is 100% a coin toss. Like, I see both sides winning, and wait, is there any like suspend changes for Platchat?
I
No.
don't believe so.
It would be after this week that we would get Nope 3.
All right.
So nothing would change.
Okay.
Unless Nova decides to get unsuspended in real life.
True.
I definitely think that both teams are going to be very competitive, and honestly, I think it's just going to be whoever wants it more. Because skill-wise, I believe that they're about the same. So.
Yeah. Okay. Our next game is Overcharged against Powerhouse. Everyone predicted a 3-1. Obviously, I'm going against everyone else. I think Powerhouse will win this 3-1. I think their game, they played Epizeuxis to map 5. I think Epizeuxis is probably a top 3 team, but when they're playing Overcharged, who has been playing very under expectations, I think they can get away with this one. Obviously, Akimbo was playing phenomenal last week. Obviously, I think someone mentioned that Kit basically took twice as much damage as King Genius did. So when you have an off tank not taking double your main tank's damage, I think you can get somewhere pretty good with your team. This would require a pretty smart lineup. Obviously, everyone will have to play really well, but Overcharged has seemed to be on the down recently. Obviously, they have lost, what, 2 games? 2 or 3, I believe. I'd have to check, but I think this will be Powerhouse's first one. Obviously, you 3 predicted Overcharged winning this 3-1. The analysts predict 77% of the analysts predict Overcharged, and 61% of the community chose Overcharged.
I mean, Powerhouse hasn't won a game yet, correct?
Correct, but they've obviously improved. I think their lineup has been...
I think they've improved, but I don't think it'll be enough for this game.
Yeah, I believe...
Personally, I think this is going to be support line difference, main tank difference, and DPS difference. Like,
So team diff.
I mean, like, last week against Epizeuxis, King Genius got MTD'd by No You, a novice player. So, I mean, up against Romy, I don't think it'll fare any better, personally. I think, like, the support line of Corey and Sev is definitely better than Powerhouse is offering, too.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I think maybe the toss up would probably be the DPS here. I think Powerhouse's DPS could have the chance to really make the difference, and that's also why I did give them a map.
I know that Powerhouse has played a lot of games close, but they haven't been able to close any of them out. And until they can prove that they can close out a game, I don't think that they, are able to.
I kind of want to see like where this goes with Powerhouse. I think this game is honestly completely up to whatever Powerhouse do. If they come in, at their peak, like everyone's like playing their best game, and my scoreline could go the other way. But if they're like not looking too great, if the Epizeuxis win boomed them, then they could get ruled. But I definitely think that Powerhouse is on an upswing, especially with the new pickup of Akimbo, and also Jason has been looking really good as of late. So.
Yeah. Our last game, Vertigo against Hangzhou Bark. This is weird. I picked Hangzhou to win 3-0. Victor picked 3-0 to Vertigo, and Shim 3-0 to Vertigo. 93% of the analysts chose Hangzhou. 83% of the community picked Hangzhou. Shim, Victor, are those did you mistype
No,
that?
I genuinely believe this.
I think it'd be funny.
Well, I mean, it would be funny. I would laugh very hard if Hangzhou gets 3-0'd by Vertigo in Vertigo's first win. Obviously, Vertigo has been making moves. I'd have to let me pull up. Monty, you're actually on the team, so I know you guys have recently picked up. I believe I'd have to check.
They picked
Cannon
up
and Commander Hoy,
and also LPN.
It's Monty difference. What can I say?
Obviously, that's going to be a whole new lineup. Their DPS line will probably be different. LPN.
I think maybe they'll finally be able to take Tunic out, which will definitely boost them a lot.
Yeah.
Like Hangzhou, they're on the down, and I'm pretty sure 2 of their DPS from what they've said are going to be gone. Aspect is banned, and Acid, he said on Twitter that he was taking a break from Overwatch from like shoulder pain. So like at the very least, he won't be able to play that well. So if they only have 1 DPS, like I don't see this being close at all. And like Vertigo, their tank line's better. Mani Owo's definitely better than Hangzhou Bark's offering of this guy Do and whoever else they can put in.
Yeah,
if
for
Smile
once,
is even there.
For once, the tank matchup for Vertigo seems to be in their favor, which is they haven't had yet. Honestly, this whole
I believe the new pickups have brought Vertigo to a state that
they can win.
They can win. They can be a contender, even possibly.
Like maybe they'll get a beat off.
Who knows?
Maybe
anything can happen.
Maybe.
I mean,
Now, I will say this about last week's Vertigo game. Hang on 1 second. I gotta find the timestamp for this. So if you go to the VOD for the Vertigo Tokyo Drifters game, go to the timestamp of 44 minutes and 15 seconds, and you will see a very good thing.
is it the one that Kern posted?
No, it's something else. It's something I like. I did. It's something
I
made a great
the
play.
beat from the sky.
Oh yeah, Tunic beating from like the top of Hanamura.
Yeah, you could also take a look at it near the end of the match on Hanamura. Tunic does come from the sky, seemingly out of nowhere, using his beat. Obviously, it wasn't a very good beat because
but he used it.
They lose.
He did use it.
It went through.
It did happen. I think that might be a first.
I'm
so proud of you.
He likes those Hanamura high ground beats. That's like his favorite thing in the world. So obviously, if you're Hangzhou Bark, pick Hanamura. Tunic won't get off a beat on you. But I think that does it for this week. I think this is the shortest one of the season so far. So Acri will be very pleased with me. Mani, Shim, Victor, if you have anything to say in closing, feel free to say it now. Don't say anything that'll get me in trouble, though.
I think you know what I...
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing, Shim.
Just go ahead.
Follow
at Shimshimothy on Twitter.
Follow at Victor_OW on Twitter.
Follow Money on Twitter.
Oh.
Don't follow RMM.
Damn, that hurts.
Rolled.
But
Also follow the Chimp Club on Twitter.
yeah,
Ooh, yes,
follow the
follow
Chimp
at
Club
the
on
Chimp
Twitter.
Club. Follow
but-
Tokyo Drifters.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Victor, Shim, Monty, thank you. This was a great episode, I guess. And I'll be back next week for more games and countdown once again.
Hello,
All
everybody. Welcome back to week 4 of the countdown. My name is Puda Scooter. I'm joined here by Geode,
Yo.
Bakanje,
What's up, Booter Scooter?
and Matthew.
What's up? I guess you're just gonna say hi back or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. This is very like, yeah. All right, so let's head on to the first match, which is a really, really close match between Chengdu Chads and Newt Newt. The player of the match was
Alright.
Bun, and the honorable mentions were Matthew and Zero.
Yeah, honestly.
Hold up. Let me speak. Matthew, since you were on the winning team, can you just tell us what you were going throughout the match?
We were all tilted later in the map. There's a player on the team who keeps calling stupid comps, even though he's a Trials player, but doesn't call comps for his Trials team. But the other Trials player on our team is really smart, and I want to have him start calling the comps.
Does this player happen to be 13?
Which one? The one who's calling the comps or the one who should?
The one who's calling the comps.
He is not 13, he is 12. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
it also just like one of our swaps was good, the rest were pretty garbage. And a lot of the time when we were running standard into their like stupid Sigma Hog bullshit, we should have been able to win, but our engages just weren't there. And I mean, it was 3-2. Probably would have lost if Client was there, because Client probably would have been like one of the smartest people in the lobby. But yeah, I'm kind of happy we won, but it also just sucks because they couldn't have one of their players.
Yeah. Wait, what happened, Client? Was it like something with his computer?
Yeah, client CPU exploded before the
Ah.
before the game started.
Exploded,
but it's like it was it was like 90 degrees C, whatever that means, but it was very hot.
Or something, yeah, basically unusable. Unlucky.
Alright, and now Gio, can you just go throughout the match, just telling us what it was like to be on the losing side?
Yeah, honestly, even though Bun got player of the match, honestly, I'm pretty sure we all know it should be Snipes. Because holy crap, this guy, he just showed up and he just, wait, what sort of profanity can I say?
Anything? Like nothing,
right, basically,
nothing that you can get banned for.
Snipe shit on our entire team.
I was gonna slur, damn it. Basically, he just whipped it out and slapped it on the desk, right? This guy, he just showed up and absolutely domed everyone. I have no idea how. We hadn't even scrimmed with him until week 1. Yeah, so since week 1 we haven't scrimmed with him. So it's just this guy. Yeah. Matthew said earlier, Client wasn't there. Also, Exrunner couldn't show up either. Neither could Swift. So 3 people of our actual like sort of that we normally play just couldn't be there. So we kind of just last minute grabbed Snipes and saying, and he left his own scrim to come and help us, which is really nice of him. And then we put Adbon and Term on off tank, and then gave Snipes his DPS. And honestly, even though we lost that, that's an absolute win in my book. Because holy crap, I'm actually so proud of that. I'm pretty sure every single one of those maps, someone from our team was absolutely carrying it. Like. Oh man, the Icon Ward game, Snipes. Okay, right. Sorry, that was just an absolutely amazing time. I don't even care that we lost it. It was just hella fun.
All right. Yeah. That's a lot from the Chengdu Newt game. So let's move on to the San Francisco Glock and the Easy Clock game. The player of the match was Joshua, and the honorable mention was Aqua, who was ringing for the team. We do not have any representatives from the from Glock or Easy Clap. So do you guys have anything to say about the game if you've seen it, or?
I'm a previous Glock player. As many of you may know. I gotta say, Joshua sucks. He's bad.
By the way, like.
Yeah, he got MTD'd. That's all I gotta say.
Damn. Well, honestly, knowing the Glock roster, my expectation would be just Easy Clap gets rolled. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically how it goes.
I saw the last map of the game, which was Anubis, and it was
Oh,
kind
I
of
do
close.
actually have something to say.
Yeah?
You can go first though. Sorry to cut you
Yeah.
off.
It's all good. It was kind of close. I do have to say that the one thing I was not expecting was the neglect Moira. It wasn't bad, but it was weird. All right, Bakanji, you can go now.
Alright, so yeah, one thing I gotta say, always cannot carry harder on Anubis. He whipped out the Bastion, he just raped. He statistically fucking raped.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Oh, yeah.
His Bastion is just so good. Best Bastion in League, 100%.
Yeah. All right.
Well, yeah, haven't seen Turn's Bastion. Yeah, so.
Turn's Bastion does not even compare. Do not mention their Bastions in the same sentence. Do not even do that.
Man, Turn just whips out his Bastion randomly during our games. It's really.
Term does not the Bastion like Oasis does. He just doesn't.
Alright. Whatever you say.
Alright. So now let's move on to the last game, which is Love Muffin versus Z9. Love Muffin won 3-0, and the player of the match was Pooter Scooter, which is me.
Yeesh.
Oh, man.
We got player of the match.
Big up.
Good shit.
Yeah. Bakanji, can you just go through like your side of the game, and then I'll go through mine?
You know what's going on. We got you got the Kanjay Sombra on the low. Kind of pulling big plays, not really, because my Off-Tank player, not a Sombra player. Like my Sombra's not the dog shits. I have a good grasp on the hero because it's mainly game sense and shit. But yeah, I don't know. You got Emki though. Emki kind of the goats on the low. I mean, you didn't tell me to like appraise him on the content or anything. But yeah, I don't know. We just don't have our starters yet because they're suspended. Or
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like
unlucky.
Ultra. They just what's it called? Like Ultra. He thought he wasn't playing, so he said some random crap in the chat and got himself banned for 4 weeks.
he said very good things in the chat. Oh, actually, never mind. He did not. He said very terrible things in the chat. I
Yes.
say so myself. It was very terrible things.
Yeah. I also
we just don't have our starting roster. That's really all it is. Once we
Yeah.
actually get the people who we want to play on their roles, I think we're gonna be pretty good at the game because Ultra's good at the game, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I also do have to say that the team will get a lot better when you specifically are on the off tank, because you recently just hit
Off-tank.
4.2, right?
See, I don't just want to gas myself up. That's like, you know, the Kanjay Off-Tank kind of goes a little crazy, you know. That's really, not really Sigma-centric anymore, I guess.
Kanjay Ryan.
The
Kanjay Ryan is not it. Do not ever mention that again. Just don't. You're just not supposed to do that. It's just not funny. I don't know why you'd ever do that. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, at least he tried.
There was an attempt, not gonna lie. Alright, I'll go through it through our team side. So we came into this week expecting a 3-0, which we got.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I do have to say though, Li Zhang was very, very close.
We should have won Li Zhang, honestly. Like, I don't know. That's, what was last map? It was like Garden or some shit?
It was Anubis, I think.
No, last point. Li Zhang.
Oh, last point was Net Market.
That was like, it was like something near to 99 to 100, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so what happened there, basically, was I think, we used a beat when we didn't need to. It was just unlucky.
Yeah, I remember that.
FMK.
Yeah, we just didn't, I don't know, we didn't have really good planning, I suppose. We used
Yeah,
beats
I mean,
when we
even then, I feel like MK, he's like mechanically he's a really good player, but he just
I just want to gas MK up here, but I also want to gas MK up here. He probably has the best Lucio mechanics out of any Lucio in League 0. Nah, he's got,
you got a Lucio player right here.
Not seen his mechanics are crazy. His mechanics are crazy, but he is a bit of a P brain. If I do say so myself. So.
Alright, and I do have to say that Li Zhang was close. Rialto was a roll, like a
Rialto,
complete and utter roll.
That was me not knowing how to play Sombra against Zarya.
Yeah. And then Anubis was kind of close, not really.
Anubis, we could have full held on that double shield.
Oh yeah,
Jalen May.
That kind of tilted me. I'm not gonna lie.
We felt that out, you know. Peter Lee was like, okay, we're going that, and we are like, okay, Peter Lee. That's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that Peter Lee is quite frankly just the goods. He's just good at the game.
Yeah, people are not saying good stuff about him on and specifically the production
I saw
server.
that. They're just stupid. Redx does not enable Peter Lee.
Okay. All right. I think that's enough for the recap. Let's move on to the games that are coming up. First is Chengdu Chaz versus San Francisco Glock. Everyone believes that Glock is going to win 3-2 on the countdown. Matthew, can you just discuss what you're preparing for the game, if possible?
Well, the issue is I've got a pretty bad work conflict, so I'm probably not going to be their first map, and I don't think I'm putting the team in bad hands with Fireclaw or anything. Just think we're going to get... we're either going to take it close or we're going to get fucking shit on.
Yo, Mats, here's what I'll say. So
we're probably going to get shit on, bro.
Yo, Mats, I know where some of their players live. You want me to hit them offline or something?
Whoa.
So I hit up the schedule, or I hit up the teams.
We
and I was
hit them
like, alright,
offline or
who do they
something?
have? Dude, they could literally just run these annoying ass comps. They could force like a May brawl, they could force a double snipes that we might lose. Yeah, no, unironically, they could start forcing May, and playing around May is not like that easy. I mean, honestly, like I think we can take it in the right mindset. We can take it. But if we just start getting tilted like we normally do, and we don't change something, yeah, we'll get shit on.
The advantage that you got. Yeah, the advantage that you guys can have is the fact that SFG just like have no actual team stuff going on. Like they literally just don't even scrim. So if you guys kind of grind out this week, you could theoretically take the win off of them. But it's
the issue is we haven't
just
scrimmed.
looking at that. Yeah, that's the thing. Like you guys don't scrim very much either.
Yeah, because we have the stupid trial stuff, and the last time we scrimmed, me and Jeannie left early because we just saw our team start trolling with 2 ringers, with Client and Baz. We were just like, all right, fuck it. We haven't had any progress, so I hope we get one this week. That's actually worth something.
Client and Baz.
I mean, it's possible you guys take it just through mechanical skill and stuff like that, and just through other team synergy. But it's going to be really, really hard, especially. I'm really excited to see the DPS, the DPS lines between Jazza and Glacial and Zero and Bun. That's going to be really, really interesting.
I think our DPS line is just better. Zero's more flexible than Glacial. Glacial definitely is a better Mei. But Bun's Widow is probably better than Jazz's, but Jazza is really fucking good.
Yeah.
I know. I
sure
think
about
Bun's Widow's a little better, but Jazz's Widow is stupid fucking good. It is actually crazy how underrated.
I think if Snipes was kind of doming Bun in our last game, I don't think.
Okay, what am I supposed to do about that? Man? Holy shit!
No, I mean,
got so tilted. We're running in a straight line. Like,
I'm pretty sure if Snipes can do that, Jazza definitely can.
Chill. We'll just DDoS.
I'm not so sure about that.
Why? Who's gonna stop me? The federal.
Federal
laws.
Yeah.
Felony charges.
On the low, we take those.
Let's go, baby. That's called dubs.
Yes, sir. It's called trade on for the team on the low.
Alright, so let's move on to the next game, which is hold on, I just gotta fix the overlay. Which is Easy Clap versus Z9. We all think that Easy Clap is gonna win, but we think that Z9 is gonna take their first map up of the season. I would say this week has the most close matches. I'm being biased with the Love Muffin Newt game, but these matches are gonna be so close because I feel like it's fighting between the two, like the top 2, then middle 2, then the bottom 2 teams in League 0.
Xenon's the best team in the league. You're sleeping on us, yes sir.
I mean, I think you could be up there, but just not right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if there's that much more to say. Oh yeah, Bakandre, is there anything that you're preparing for this game?
I guess we're forgetting I'm on Z9 or something. I don't know.
Nah.
Anything about the game I have to say? I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm gonna beg Juice to let me play off tank. I think because I just want to play off tank or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be nice if you got to play off tank.
We have not scrimmed yet this week. I mean, nah. Here's what happened. Monday we tried to find a scrim. We just got fucking red X'd. They just fucking double blocked on our ass. It was kind of tragic actually if you think about it. So, and then we just didn't scrim today. So we got some big moves in the works though. We got some big moves. The roster's kind of coming together if you think about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I don't know how we're gonna do against Easy Clap. I think we could take a map. I think that's actually very likely. Maybe even 3. That'd be actually kind of nice if we took 3 maps. Like,
I mean, yeah. To be honest, Easy Clap versus Xenon probably will be the closest one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty close. I don't know.
I do have to say, it really does matter which Juice shows up this week, because there's some days I see that he destroys.
It matters
like,
if Juice is high or not. That's what matters.
He's been smoking, really. Actually, last time he was in voice chat, he was like, "Guys, I'm high, really high, smoking weed. I'm high." Like, all right, man.
No, the thing is, the best Juice's ever played. He's high. So, like,
Alright, I'll get Baz to send him his
If he gets
blend.
fucking blazed, I think we win the match. We just hard NCD neglect.
Let's go.
It's happened. Also, I don't want to bring up the scrim bucks. That's Easy Clap is like the one team. Whenever we scrim, we do well against them.
Oh,
Ooh.
Scumbucks, kind of crazy.
Outside of league.
They're playing from Vietnam. You know this.
They're playing from Vietnam, though. So.
Yeah, they're playing from the jungle.
That's facts. That's facts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you kind of do got to bring up the clip that was on Easy Clap's Twitter.
Do we?
Yeah, do you remember that clip where I was kind of chilling on icon walls?
Oh yeah.
And, like stall spots. Kind of got hashtag fucking rapes. So let's honestly try. I think we're going for that again on the low.
Leaks.
Easy Clap, watch out for that. I'm going for the play. Again.
All right, and let's move on to the last game, which is a Love Muffin versus Newt Newt. Everybody thinks that Newt Newt is gonna win 3-0. I do not agree with that.
Take.
Okay. Gio, can you just go through what you guys are preparing for the game? Shut up! Shut up!
So, I guess generally my main concern with Love Muffin would be the old target acquired and his Widowmaker, right?
Yes.
And because in like the 2 times that we scrimmed you guys, both times you kind of start out on the meta, and then roughly halfway through, once we're rolling, you just whip out the target acquired Widow, and then things suddenly change.
I do have to say that there is something going on with the target, so he's gonna play on really scuffed stuff.
Why would you even say that?
All right. Well,
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
By the way, I was thinking, since after seeing what Snipes did this weekend, I was kind of thinking, you know, if target acquire is going to be a problem, why not we just bring along Snipes and see what happens?
Yeah, if Snipes does come out, I feel like that's gonna be a really good matchup. I also do have to say that the fight for, I would say, number 1 and number 2 off tank is also in this this week.
Hey yo.
Well, Bakandre, I can't really count you because...
What, between Klein and Eok?
Yeah, I would say that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah, Eok's kind of the goods, but he's not number 2.
He's no Klein. I mean, I will say that there definitely was a reason why Klein was the first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Klein's just better.
I'm pretty sure it's just kind of like the sort of difference between Pascal and the other flex supports. It's Klein and the rest of the off tanks. No offense, but
yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even think Eok's number 2. So.
Alright,
maybe that's a hot take.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the Love Muffin can win this. This is very biased, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be 3-0. I'm gonna be honest about that.
I don't know either. I feel like I'm pretty confident we're gonna win, but it's not. It's not gonna be a sweep. I'm pretty sure it's definitely not gonna be a sweep.
Because I don't know. I'm gonna bring Scrimbucks in here, but whenever we play Newt, it's been pretty close scrims. Like, Gio, you could second this, right?
I don't fully remember, but I do remember target acquired being a bit of a problem. But normally, whenever you guys play the meta, we win, and then you bring out the target acquired widow, and then things start turning around a little bit, and then I start going absolutely Reddit on target acquired, and then we start winning again. But
yeah,
I feel like it kind of is a bit up and down with our scrims.
Yeah, I do have to say that we are changing up like our whole style and stuff like that throughout the past like
That'd
2
be
weeks.
interesting.
We are changing up stuff with our DPS, definitely stuff with our tanks and supports. So you guys are just gonna have to see for this game.
Yeah, it's just like with our scrims, I'm pretty sure generally in Newts they've kind of made a general rule just to not scrim in league, because so far it's too much of a sweep, and that's not to flex, but it's just like we want to get these scrims which are really challenging. We've actually become pretty regular scrim partners with Warpigs, which are the #1 SA contenders team. And like those scrims that we have with them are like really good, like really close scrims. And I'm pretty sure after the first time we scrimmed with them, we've actually improved a lot after scrimming them.
Yeah, but then again, that is SA
it is SA contenders.
I'm not gonna get into that.
Yeah, nah, SA contenders is I mean, they're contenders for a reason.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys have any final words? This is the end of the countdown.
Really gotta go to the bathroom.
All right, goated.
What's my Twitter at? At Bakonje on Twitter. Follow me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out
Gio,
to
do you have anything else?
No. I actually got a shout out. I got a shout out real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Let me search up. What's the food place called?
Oh my.
Hey yo, shout out to Bonchon Korean fried chicken. That shit's goated. I had it tonight. It's goated.
Alright, fucking Nando's. Everyone got a Nando's, right?
What is Nando's? What?
it's a British thing.
Oh yeah. We understand that. Gio, do you have anything to say? Final words?
Not particularly. Just be in the stream, watch our game, and
Gio, you gotta
see
plug
what
your
happens.
Yeah.
Well, it's just Newts.ow.
No, your Twitter.
Geode.ow.
No, it's
or
Geode
underscore. Oh, I'm sorry.
At Geode_.
I haven't looked at Twitter in ages, right?
I got your back.
Yeah, thanks.
Alright.
Alright.
I think Matt's here.
Bye.
I'm gonna plug his Twitter for him. At Matthew OW.
Swag.
Twitter.
Oh, I'm also gonna plug mine.
No, do not plug your Twitter.
I mean, mine gets plugged at the end of the thing anyways, so I'm just gonna do it as well. At PooterScooter1. There we go.
Alright, so I even follow you. Let me check.
Previous manager of the Weird Squad, 86 IQ, the Ape Squad, and the Gangsta Weenies. Jesus Christ.
I had to drop the follow on the low.
What are the Gangsta Weenies?
It was a team that I managed for like 2 weeks. They got like top 32 OD. Yeah, then I left them because I just wanted to play again and not really manage.
Understood.
I'm so happy after so long I made it.
Oh, you made it, right? 4,000
I made it. All right. We're ending the countdown here. Come back next week. We're gonna bring in new guests from the other teams in League 0, and yeah, that's about it. See you guys next week.